Welcome, or welcome back if you're new here. My name is Andrea Sampson. I'm the founder of the Thought Leader Academy, and I post videos here every week to help you build yourself as a thought leader. If you want to be presenting your ideas in public, you need to create a consistent and intentional personal brand. When you're building a personal brand, it can be broken down into 3 pillars. Number 1, awareness and intentionality. Number 2, authority and credibility. Number 3, differentiation and influence. Let's take a moment and go through each of these in a little bit of detail. Let's start with awareness and intentionality. This really is what makes you, you. What are your core values? Have you done that core values exercise? If you haven't, I highly recommend that you do. And at the end, I'm going to give you some resources to help you with this. Because your core values help you to define the differentiating factor of how you show up in your field, not only as an expert, but as a thought leader who aligns those values to the message that they put out in the world. And that's really important because that's about being authentic. That's about truly showing up as all of who you are. And of course, this builds your reputation. Your reputation is key in your personal brand. What are your core values? How do you align your messaging, what you believe, the core thought leadership you're putting out into the world? And what's the reputation that you have? And how are you using that reputation so others can find you? And that, of course, is an online presence. So that reputation has to translate to how you're showing up in all of the places online where people can find you. The next is authority and credibility. What gives you the authority to be a thought leader in your field? What background, education, experience, training, or skill set makes you unique or builds that authority in such a way that others will recognize that you have what it takes to be a thought leader in your field? Now, education is only one part of it. You could be highly experienced, or you could be recognized as an innovator in your field. Perhaps you don't have formal education, but you've spent your entire career working on something that has given you that authority and that credibility of a thought leader. Where have you been recognized and celebrated? Maybe you've won awards. Maybe you've been asked to be on some prestigious committees or boards of directors. These are places that build your authority and credibility. So use that. When you are building your personal brand, it's important that you show that authority and credibility in a way that's authentic to you. So it's not just about putting letters behind your name or showing up with awards on a resume, because your core values will help you to understand what is authentic to you. And then finally, it's about differentiation and influence. What makes you memorable and different from anyone else? Look at me. I have blue hair. My hair actually changes often. Sometimes it's blue, sometimes it's pink, sometimes it's purple, sometimes it's all 3 of those colors. For me, what makes me memorable is not only my hair, although that does, but it's also my knowledge and my expertise. When people meet me and we get speaking, what often happens is because of the work I do, my knowledge comes through and I get remembered for that. So for me, memorability and influence comes through the knowledge I have, but also the way that I show up. How do you show up differently than anyone else? What is it about you that makes you memorable? What about your knowledge and your skill set makes people want to work with you, that becomes influential in every conversation you have with them? When you're building your personal brand, it's important you know all of these things. And your core values is one of the first places that I like to start. So these are my tips on how to start building your personal brand and get recognized as the thought leader that you are. And by the way, I've created a personal brand workbook that I think you might find helpful. It has the core values exercise that I discussed earlier, along with worksheets that help you with the 3 brand pillars. If you found this video helpful, give me a thumbs up and subscribe so that you can come back on a regular basis for hints on how to build yourself as a thought leader.